Hello there, fine community and YouTube, and hello there, John, aka smfcaphowdys. This is the response to your 1300 subscribers contest. 1300? How do you do it? How do you manage to get all of these subscribers? But hey, you're worth every one of them. The VC's Kiss expert. Not all that much of a Kiss fan, even they have done a couple of songs that might be really good. Tears Are Falling, Heaven's on Fire, I Was Made for Loving You, and so on. But no, I'm not a huge Kiss fan at all. Therefore, I was happy when you brought up some more prizes for the contest, or else I would have done a video but said no to the prize, because I also don't use streaming or download possibilities, so that one would be been ruled out also. So I guess I go for the Queen album, Kind of Magic. But that's for a later story. First I'm going to do my response. You wanted us to show records that is some of our favorites, but which song of that album we skip, that we don't really like. And that one was really tough, because first of all, I tried first of all to go through the albums that I have recently bought and try to listen to them firsthand. So there are very little time to re-listen albums that I've been listening to before. And second of all, I'm very easy flirted when it comes to albums that I think is good. It's not often that I found an album really good, but one song is really bad. Most of the times, at least in the genres that I listen to, I think most of the songs, if not all of the songs, are from the grades good to perfect. But there are some exceptions, of course, that have been discovered through the years. So I have 5 albums that if the songs aren't horrible, then at least they are very much more uninteresting than the rest of the songs. Starting off with this one, Bryan Adams, Waking Up the Neighbor. This is one of Bryan Adams' absolute best albums. I remember when I bought it and listened to it, how shocked I was that it was so really good. Really great early 90s rock and roll music. Contains a lot of great tracks. Having all the classics here, as you can see, having Can't Stop This Thing We Started, Thought I Died and Gone to Heaven, Do I Have to Say the Words, and of course we have Everything I Do It For You. There Will Never Be Another Tonight. But there's one singer on this song that I actually think is not bad. Still, it's great, produced by Robert McLang. But it is very much more uninteresting. And it is the single All I Want Is You, because that song is weak. It is not. It doesn't contain. It lacks of something to in the song that grabs you, that makes you feel like, wow, what a song. It is it's a slow rock song that goes on and have a refrain that doesn't catch you one bit, and I think also it's one of Bryan Adams' lowest charted songs from this album. So that one is my choice from this album, All I Want Is You. So everybody who has followed my videos, one of my absolute favorite bands is Level 42. And I don't consider any Level 42 album really bad. They are so magnificent made and produced, so it's impossible to say that anyone is really bad. But there is one Level 42 song that I actually think is maybe my least favorite song. And it's on this album, Staring at the Sun from 1988. This is a great album. It is a lot less synthesizer than it was in the masterpiece Running in the Family, but still this is a funky and great album, much of course because of the great combination of Mike Lindup and Mark King. But on this album, besides the great songs, Heaven in My Hand, fantastic great song, Take a Look, a fantastic ballad, but there also is one single that is really low point, and that's the single Tracy. I know that one is a little hard to say it because as I read it, it's a very personal song for Mark King because it's about his former high school sweetheart. But I think Tracy it's too happy. It is a little happy go song for some reason that is very much it lacks of the really exciting funky beat that the rest of the song has. It is a really happy pop funk song that I think is not suitable for Level 42 at all. I think it's a kind of boring actually. I'm going to connect with Karsten Olsen and the response he gave because he showed Dire Straits Brothers in Arms, and so do I. I think this is a really masterpiece, fantastic, relaxing and awesome, well-made album. An album I've been listening to a lot during my life. But except for one song, and now we're getting into the songs that I really actually don't really like. And like Karsten, I also choose Walk of Life. Walk of Life I never liked. I didn't like it when it came. I don't like it now. It is a cheesy 1960s combined with 80s go happy song that most of the Swedish dancing orchestras in Sweden called dansband has already done 5 or 10 times on their albums, and I think that there was a time in the 80s. I love the 80s. Everyone knows that I love the 80s, but there was also a time in the 80s when I tried to mix this synthesized sort of music of the 80s with and doing it in a 1960s style, and that one was not all that fitting. I felt like some genres should not be mixed because it doesn't sound all that good. And in Walk of Life, when it comes to Walk of Life, it was terrible in my opinion. And Madonna and True Blue. This is a very nostalgic album. It was the first Madonna album that I bought. It was the album that made me discover that Madonna was really good, and it's an album that I'm listening to over and over during my childhood. I love Open Your Heart. I love White Heat. It's a fantastic song. Love Makes the World Go Round. Live to Tell was one of the songs that made me discover Madonna, along with The Look of Love. But I was a little skeptical when I heard the song Jimmy Jimmy. Jimmy Jimmy is for me also where I tried to mix 1960s style with this disco sound of the 80s, and it is some kind of a girlish teeny bopper song that sounds very much like a high school 60s style, and I think that one is really terrible song. I think that of course it's much better than any of the songs that Madonna has done lately, but doesn't say anything actually. I think on this album it is a really low point for me actually. And finally, an album that I bought not too long ago. I think I bought it last year, but I listened to it a couple of times since then, and I really like this album. 10cc's Bloody Tourists from 1977, 78 I think. The light would be nice. 1978, yes. The Madonna album was from 1986, if anyone wondered. This is really great album. Really total excitement in every tone, in every song. I really like this album. But there's one song that I never like from this album, and that is the song, I guess everybody guessed it, Dreadlock Holiday, the really big, huge hit. But I never liked that song. First of all, I think I can agree with what they're singing in the melody. I don't like reggae, but then, point. I think it's a very slow, boring, and uninteresting song. It's also one of the most overplayed songs from 10cc that I heard way too many times. But it's also a song that I think is lacking on something that grabs me. It's just ongoing forever, very slow, very boring, and I definitely think that it is maybe the worst song of 10cc's catalog, although I really like 10cc. So with that, Captain Howdy, I hope that you have enjoyed my picks, and that you and everybody else have a really nice continuing of the week. I will be back pretty soon, I think, because I've noticed there are some members of the VC that wants to know a little about Swedish jazz era of the 40s, 50s and 60s. So I'm going to show some Swedish jazz records soon also. But until then, I hope that everybody have a really nice time, and so long.